Hey y'all, what is going on? What is going on? It's your girl, Melba Pearson, Melba for Miami, Melba for Justice, also known as the resident legal diva. And it's time for another Mondays with Melba. Well, I don't know about y'all, but this weekend, especially the Super Bowl, was massive for the culture. Definitely have to shout out the fact that this is the first time in history that two Black quarterbacks faced up against each other in the Super Bowl. So, hey, it was a win either way. Granted, I was rooting for Kansas City and very happy that Mahomes got to take that victory home. Secondly, Rihanna. That is all. That's it. That's the text. That's the tweet. That's everything. And the third part that was really cool was the fact that the flyover team that flew the fighter jets over the Super Bowl were personed by four female fighter pilots. Like, how amazing is that? So the Super Bowl was amazing on so many fronts, especially from a social justice, equity perspective. And I just love to see it. All right. So coming a little closer to home here in Miami, I'm so excited to be chatting with somebody that y'all may have met before. But again, it's a new year, time to get your health in order and all of that. The amazing Tia Doster, who is the queen, founder, brainchild behind JuiceDefined. Now, I like to bring folks on that either I know and have used their products and know what they're about, or that we have similar ideologies and kind of look at the world the same way. I may not know them, but there's a connection there, right? Well, Tia, I not only know, but I am a regular purchaser of her juices. I did lose a little bit of weight, and Tia was a part of that, trying to make sure that, getting older, gotta think about our health and our strength, and knowing that, sometimes between the environment, between stress, food, it all acts together to sometimes cause us to have a earlier departure from this earth than we would like. So definitely going to dive into everything that Tia's about. Thank you so much for joining me today, Tia.
Oh, no problem, sis. I'm just thankful. Thank you again. 2 years in a row. I was looking forward to it. I'm like, oh yes, like this has to happen. So thank you so much. I appreciate you definitely. And you look good, by the way. You look really good. Snatched.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm telling you, it was the green machine and the D. And we'll talk about all that momentarily because we got to get into all the different offerings you have. But first off, just tell everybody a little bit about you and kind of how you came into this work, because you weren't like the juice guru when you left school. That was not in your mind.
Definitely not. No, I mean, if they taught this in school, maybe I would have been. But unfortunately, life experiences, like many of us. And so Juice Defined came to be around the year of 2013. I always tell my story because I'm such an advocate for the Black maternal health crisis. As I experienced my own, crisis during childbirth in 2010 when I had my daughter. I had a very severe case of preeclampsia, which they called HELP syndrome. And so from that, I had multi-organ failure, which it really had a damaging and lasting effect on my kidneys. And so I was on dialysis for a while. And I ended up getting a kidney transplant in 2020, which was years later. But when everything first transpired, my life was literally in shambles medically. You know what I mean? And I was going through a lot. And so I was really just searching for ways to feel better, just to, not have to take so many medications, not have to just be dependent on a lot of just medical assistance. And I was young. I was 25 years old. Like, I felt like this shouldn't be life at 25. You know what I mean? Like, I was still young, still active. And so I just really couldn't believe it. But my quest for just better living, healthier living came from that situation, unfortunately. But it had become my goal to, like, feel better. And once I saw like how juicing helps me, I was like, oh yeah, like it's no reason why this should be a secret. And I really didn't understand why I didn't know about juicing so much before that. Cause I was like, why have I never really heard of this? And
Mhm.
so I started to search around in Miami for different places that could have, that served juices. It wasn't many, and it definitely wasn't any in my area. I was born and raised in Miami Gardens. Back then it was Carroll City, and now it's Miami Gardens. And so it's a predominantly Black neighborhood. So we didn't really have a lot of healthy options. Like we had just pretty much the run of the mill fast food places, a few grocery stores and that type of thing. And just now we're starting to really evolve, as a community over here. But initially it wasn't like that. Like from the 80s, the 90s, even the early 2000s, we just didn't have access to that so much. And so I just decided, what, I need to kind of be the change, because I know just even reading the statistics about kidney failure and heart disease and even preeclampsia, like we see like the rising numbers of women just dying during childbirth and just, all of these things. And it seems like it really affects our community. And so for me, it was just important to share the knowledge, share my experience, and just kind of give our community a safe space to not only talk about, these issues, but an actual tangible way to change these issues. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it just became my mission over time. I just wanted to be a part of that change.
That is awesome. And I mean, you really touched on one of the more painful sagas of just, being Black in America, is that a lot of times you grow up in what's known as a food desert, or you live in what's known as a food desert, which means there's a lot of fast food restaurants, sort of like, your convenience store where you're getting processed food. It's not like Publix is set up in the middle of Overtown. I mean, to this day, there's no Publix in Overtown, right? The
Yep.
Publix is in Brickell, and
Right.
it might be Southwest 8th, but
Yep.
it's not in Overtown proper. So again, you've got residents who don't have access to fresh food and vegetables, and not like you have a plot out back where you can just grow your own. So
Exactly.
not having a diet that consists of a lot of chemically processed and altered foods is obviously going to take a toll on your body.
Yeah.
But can you kind of walk us through like what juicing actually is? Because I think a lot of people have misconceptions about what's juicing and also what a detox is, because
Oh,
that's
yes.
another term that we've heard a lot of things. What was it, like the grapefruit diet, and or you
Oh
put
my
like
goodness. The lemonade diet.
pearls.
Oh my.
Yes. So can you
Listen.
break down facts and fiction with that?
Yes, for real, I can. And it's so crazy that you mentioned that, just given, Beyonce just dropped new concert tickets and everybody's like,
Hey.
oh yeah, you got to get right for the concert. Listen, we here to help. But anyway, aside from that, um, there is a common misconception about juicing when it comes to juicing versus blending. So first, I just want to make sure that people understand that there is a difference between juicing and blending. So when you drink smoothies, right, that's not necessarily juicing. What smoothies are is more of a blend. So you mix all of the fruits and vegetables together. Juicing is the extraction of the liquids from the fiber of different fruits and vegetables. So a, a definition. If you're looking for a definition, basically juicing is the extraction of the liquid from any fruit or vegetable from the fiber. And so what typically we do is we take the all of the liquid from these fruits and vegetables and we form these recipes or concoctions, right, that help us to get all of these phytonutrients, all of these minerals, all of these vitamins that we need in order for our bodies, number one, to boost our immune system, right? And then number two, to help us to absorb and flush out toxins in the body. So a detox essentially is what happens when the body is getting rid of toxins. Now, our bodies already do this naturally, right? We got a kidney, we got a liver, we have a colon, we have all of these digestive components that automatically help us to expel toxins. So we already do that. But a lot of us don't do it effectively because we don't feed our body enough of the good stuff, which, i.e., juicing, is one way to get it. And so by fueling your body with all of the raw nutrients and from vegetables and fruits, we give our body that energy and that extra hydration in order for it to expel the toxins that we already have in our bodies. So that's essentially what a detox is. And the juicing helps us to do that. Um, it also helps us to reduce the amount of food that we intake so that our bodies can have it's not so hard for our bodies to break down. Juicing is liquid, so it absorbs in the body literally immediately. So it doesn't take any digestive process. It doesn't take your body, light years to digest it at all because it absorbs in the bloodstream really fast. So that's one of the benefits of juicing. And that's one reason that is really effective when it comes to detoxing, because detoxing is all about giving the body a break. and juicing helps us to do that. So that's essentially what the difference is between juicing and blending, and then also what a detox is.
And just staying with the detox for a second, does a detox mean that you don't eat any solid food for 3 days, a week, or whatever the case may be? Or are there hybrid versions where you can substitute a juice for one meal or something like that?
So there are several versions of what cleansing and detoxing is. Now, we do have different programs, and obviously and it's almost likened to how you might have different types of fast based on your religion or based on your culture. You might have different types of detoxing, right? And so that's the same thing with juicing. Essentially, if you want to do a complete liquid cleanse, then yes, you would just juice with water, and eating no food, right? Essentially, that's the best route to go, because again, you want to really give your body a true break. You don't want to, even eating fruits and vegetables, your body will have to break it down. And although it's not as extreme as eating meat, your body will still have to work to basically break it down and distribute all of the minerals and nutrients. So completely liquid is the best route to go. However, there are some modified versions of that where you can just drink juice and water, but also only consume fruits and vegetables, whether raw or cooked. So that's a modified version that sometimes people like to do in order to ease into, a full liquid cleanse. But also some people prefer to do that just as a means to still get that fiber in. You know what I mean? Some people don't want to eliminate that fiber, and then fiber is a big part of our diets. But it's okay if you eliminate it for a few days or a couple weeks while you're detoxing, if you decide to go that route. So it all will be based on a person's their personal journey, their medical history, the diet, and also the results they're looking for. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And definitely, if you have a primary care physician, you have access to a doctor, you should probably run anything by them before you start to go ahead and
Definitely.
do a detox or a cleanse. Because again, maybe with your blood work, that may not be the best combination. You may get lightheaded or whatever the case may be. But
Yes.
once you've checked that out, then definitely investigate
Definitely.
whether or not, a cleanse is right for you.
For sure. We give everybody that disclaimer. Please check with your medical professional. We don't give medical advice at all. However, on a base level, we know that fruits and vegetables work for the body and for us as humans, and so we want to consume more of it. But the way that you consume it is definitely, it's on an individual basis.
And so tell us a little bit about the different products you have. I mean, I already have shouted out my favorites, which is the D and
Yep.
the green
Mean
machine.
green.
And then I also do my little sea moss
Yeah.
samples that I can put
Yep.
into like a smoothie. So I do that. So yeah,
Mhm.
tell everybody about that.
You've been doing good, sis. So you can you've been doing really good. So we have a storefront located right in the heart of Opa Locka. And so from the storefront, we sell juices, we sell smoothies, we sell wellness shots, we do detoxes as well. We do minor food items. We do sell salads. We have little vegan friendly snacks like chia pudding. We also have like a mushroom bowl and vegan patties. That's our latest
Ooh.
addition to the menu, which I mean, people are like raving about them. It's so good. And so it's like our vegan version of beef patties, so it's really
Love it.
good. And so that's what we sell for the storefront. However, we also have another component where we do a lot of education. So we have a lot of digital products as well, ebooks, manuals, recipe guides, journals. So we have all of those things as well to just kind of help motivate you along the way, give you a little bit of education as well. And we have quite a few juice challenges as well. So for the person who wants to do it themselves, I know DIY is like a big thing. Like some people love to do their own thing in the comfort of their own home. Listen, we didn't leave them out. We got something for you too.
Love that. Something for everybody. Yes.
Yes, so we have challenges as well. A week challenge, a day challenge, whatever you're looking for, we have something for everyone. I guarantee we have something for everyone.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and let me tell you, don't sleep in that soli salad because it is real good. I like won't tell you all the ingredients, but it's got some pasta. I mean, and the dressing,
Yay!
to die for. So just so y'all
Yes,
know.
shout out to our resident Soli. She's our vegan chef enthusiast and Soli Delight. She is awesome, amazing, and she comes up with all of these tasty treats that we have, and they actually are a hit. Like if you're not vegan, you still gonna feel like, oh well, I can do this, and that's what we all about. Just encouraging people not to try to sway your mindset about anything, but we want to expose you to something new. And so a lot of people think I can't do this because of whatever preconceived notions they have. But the truth is, if you try it, you never know what might happen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you try it for a day and you feel miserable or it just is not working for you, you can always stop. This is definitely
Yeah,
not to,
for
push
sure.
folks and say you got to give up food for a month and that's the only way this is going to work.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
you've got to adapt it to your lifestyle and everything else.
Yes. We
So,
meet you where you are.
exactly. So let's talk about the fact that you are part of this revitalization of Opa Locka. And it is Black History Month. All this month, it's all about Black owned businesses on Mondays with Melba. But just kind of wanted to know more about, why Opa Locka. Obviously, you grew up in Carroll City, so it's not like, it's not a far distance away. But, why Opa Locka and what does it mean to you to be a Black owned business? Why is that important to you?
Yeah, like I said, I'm from right next door. I really consider us the same people, like it's the same hood. And so for me it was important to stay home, close to home. Not only because we don't have anything like Juice Defined in our area, but because I truly feel that if you create the access that the people will come. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so for me, it was bigger than, making all the money. Obviously, we want money. It's a business. You want to make a profit, right? But for me, it was more about creating the access, having the exposure. And it was really also about just changing the mindset of the community, from the local, schools, the kids to the adults, the parents to our local government. Like, even at that level, I think people just really had not seen, what we've been doing. So for me, it was just important to just say, hey, it's okay to stay at home. You don't have to leave and go thinking that somewhere else is better. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's important to show our community that we love each other and we can stay put and actually make a difference. And again, if you put it there, the people will come. So for me, it was just all about just making that statement. I really want people to understand that.
And so what was the reaction like when came and opened up your storefront and all of that? Was the community receptive? Were they questioning at first? Like what was that part of the journey like?
So it was, honestly, we just made almost a year and a half. So we're almost a year and a half there, which is kudos because they say if you
Yes.
make it past a year, like you're doing real good, right?
Mhm, mhm,
So
that part, yeah.
I'm just amazed that we're here, right? But it does take a lot of outreach and a lot of being seen in the community, right? So that people know that we're here, number one. And then number two, so that people know that you can afford this too, right? This is something that is for you. A lot of times we have this notion as a community that, maybe we don't deserve this, or that oh, that's for those other people, that's not for
Mhm,
us.
mhm.
And so it's important that they see somebody like them, right, doing something like this, so they know, like, no, this for us too. We need health and wellness as well. And so it's been a great time just kind of getting out in the community, partnering with the local government, partnering with the neighboring schools. So in that respect, we've been received pretty well. Like I don't have any complaints about the reception of us. But again, it's a lot of work still, marketing and just educating people, right? Because even if you bring people juice and they want to know what it is, it's like, oh, it's green. Like, what is that? Like, I'm not, you know. And so it's a lot of education, because people want to know, like, what is this going to do for me? And why is this important for me? You know what I mean? So we're still out there, reaching the people, but I think that it's really going well. And as long as we continue to just educate, I think that we will go far.
And so what's next for you? Like what is next on the horizon in terms of this business? Is it about expanding your offerings? Is it about, having additional locations? Sort of like where's the dream right now?
Yeah, so we're definitely looking to expand. I would love a second location. I've actually been in the works of laying the groundwork for that. So that is definitely next, but also the ultimate goal is to be able to franchise the model out so that we can be more than just Miami. Like we can be like McDonald's, like we can be everywhere. And so that's the ultimate goal, but the short-term goal, definitely we're looking at a second location. So that's our next step.
Yeah, and that would be so awesome if you were able to franchise, because again, think about all the communities that may be in a food desert as well, because we still have not found the solution around that, especially if city councils, commissioners, whatever, aren't really adept at
Mhm.
that. Community planning, right? That urban
Right.
planning, you have to figure out houses are here, you've got to have,
Yeah.
commercial space there and all that. And if the neighborhood's not set up that way, it becomes much harder
Right.
for these types of businesses to grow and
Mhm.
flourish. So,
Yep.
that model would be so effective in like rural communities and other places that may not have that same access to healthy food and, healthy juices and stuff like that. So that would be amazing.
Yes, I'm excited about it, because even like you said, just even having that impact on the local government at the local government level and getting them to even recognize like, hey, this is needed, right? If you didn't think so before, we're living proof that, the people are here, they're showing up, we're still standing after a year. That means something, and so if we can get more of that, I truly believe that we can transform the community, right? And so, that's been my goal. We partnered on so many occasions with the city of Opa Locka. We're looking forward to doing great things with them. And so, yeah, it's about, coming together so we can build something. And that's exactly what the idea is. That's the goal.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, tell everybody how they can reach you. And by the way, just reminding folks, they are on Uber Eats. So
Yes.
you can get
We
your
are on
stuff
Uber
delivered.
Eats. Yes, Uber Eats, DoorDash. You can also find us on the Love It app, which is also another delivery food service. We're online, www.thejuicedefined.com. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. And of course, you can always walk into the store. We're open 7 days a week, 854 Alibaba Avenue. And that's right in the heart of Opelika, Florida, 33054. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot us a text, 786-566-3354.
Beautiful. And for folks that are watching live, there will be the links to the website posted in the chat and in the comments. For those listening on the podcast, you can see all of this in the body of the description of this episode. So again, Tia, thank you so much for all that you do for the community, for the education that you're doing around healthy eating, especially in the schools, getting kids to embrace healthy habits from young, and also teaching some of us old heads like what we should be doing to make sure that
Yeah.
we're, having the best quality life that we can and the healthiest quality life that we can. So Tia, thank you so much.
No problem. And thank you for having me on and always supporting me. It's truly, truly a blessing. I thank you so much, sis.
Oh, thank you, Tia. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. And to all of you, make sure to check out JuiceDefined. Again, all the links are going to be provided. Definitely check out this amazing Black-owned business and, to get a better handle on your health. And next week, we're going to be pivoting to all things tech. So stay tuned for another interesting and actually pretty fun session of Mondays with Melba. So take care, all of you, and I will see you next week. Bye.